we are going to attempt at getting a little bit ready while I go over the differences and similarities that I noticed while being pregnant the first time at 20 and the second time at 29. If you are new here or you've been here already, hi, welcome back or welcome. This is my little baby. I have a 9-year-old who will be turning 10. Baby girl is a little bit tired, but she just want me to put her down. So we are going to try to get ready while we talk about some of the similarities and differences that I noticed. This is going to be just a quick little mommy makeup because I only have one hand. Okay, so we're just gonna skip the primer. I kept a journal of my pregnancy with my first baby and again with my second, and I was going back and reading my first pregnancy. My belly started to show at 19 weeks pregnant, and then I popped again that I wrote down was at 26 weeks pregnant. And now with baby girl, I feel like you really couldn't tell I was too pregnant. It seemed like I was kind of more bloated, and that was around 6 months. It looks like, okay, like I have a little belly and I could kind of hug it, but it wasn't as noticeable as soon as it was with my first baby. And the difference with that is, even though my first baby was bigger in the belly, like I showed more, when she was born, she was a pound less. So my first baby was born at 6 pounds, 6 ounces. Baby girl was born at 7 pounds, like flat. So even though I was smaller, baby girl was bigger than my first. Another big thing was that I was not as sick the second time around as I was the first time, but I was sick throughout my whole pregnancy with my first baby. And with my second, with little Lele, I was sick. I was sick. The first trimester as well. The second trimester, I feel like I was feeling good. Everything kind of felt normal. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot do this, you guys. Next, we're gonna talk about weight gain. So I did gain about the same amount of weight with both pregnancies. The thing is, with my first pregnancy, I gained that weight a lot faster in the beginning, and then it kind of just slowed down. With my second pregnancy, I didn't gain any weight until I was 5-6 months pregnant, and then I started to put on the pounds. So it was really like gradual weight gain. At first, like a pound or two every month until like the 5th month, and then I started to gain the weight. So that was a big shift. I thought I was going to be gaining a lot of weight super fast like I did the first time, because it just kind of like packed on, but that did not happen. I really was like very gradual the second time around compared to the first time, where I gained a lot of weight pretty quickly, and then towards the end it kind of just stayed the same. And this time it was all towards the end where the weight gain came along, but both of them were both pretty similar in the weight gain. Yeah, she's ready for a nap. A company on TikTok shop sent this to me. So if you follow me on TikTok, this is really cool. I really do like it. It's the curling iron wand, the curling iron mascara. It is super cool. Let me see if I can get a good shot, but I don't have the mirror behind. Another big thing was how tired I felt. First pregnancy, I was done. I was tired all the time. I was taking multiple naps a day, and I just felt like my energy was just never there. I was anemic for both pregnancies, so I know that plays a big part in it. My second pregnancy, I tried my best to pull myself out of bed when I could, be more active, and not kind of give into the tiredness as much, even though you can't really help it when you're pregnant. You're tired, you're trying to do what you can, but if your body needs to rest, your body needs to rest. You are making a whole human. So both pregnancies I was anemic, but with my second pregnancy I also did experience a low blood pressure that I was constantly monitored, and that also played into kind of feeling more lethargic, weak, just lacking energy. But again, I experienced it with both. The thing with the second time is, I think being older, I try to pull myself out of that, and also not working and just being able to just focus on the pregnancy and make sure that I was okay. And oh no, you spit up. And another big pregnancy thing would be cravings. First pregnancy, I didn't really have any cravings per se. I did at the time when I got pregnant at 20. I was pescatarian, and I also hadn't drank soda in like 4 years. So when I did get pregnant and I tried a little bit of Coca-Cola, I was like hooked on it. I craved it so much. My first pregnancy, she needs to go to her nap, but she won't go to sleep. I really craved Coca-Cola and chocolate. My first pregnancy, besides that, nothing really else. I know like the smell of eggs would make me throw up a lot. Dairy too would make me like just not feel really well. Second pregnancy, I wasn't really having cravings that like something would pop into my head. It was kind of more that if I saw someone eating something, like I wanted that off their plate. Like I don't want to get my own, I wanted that one. And that's like crazy to say, but like I just like the overwhelming feeling of I need to eat that, like right now I wanted it. That was, oh, maybe too much blush, but that was a big one with my pregnancy. I didn't really want anything that I thought of unless someone mentioned something or I saw something and that I may want it, like an overwhelming feeling of, oh my gosh, I need to eat that right now, that looks delicious. Because I was so sick, the only thing that I can keep down were Uncrustables, peanut butter and jelly Uncrustables. But it wasn't really a craving, it was more like that's the only thing I can stomach, because I couldn't stand anything at all. The first trimester with her, it was bad. I was very nauseous, I was very sick, did not like it at all. But yeah, I think I had more cravings first pregnancy compared to the second, even though it was a little bit different. I don't know if that's like a craving or like, oh, now I want it. Just kind of just differences there. Labor and childbirth. Okay, my first baby was born at 39 weeks. She was born at 38 weeks. My first pregnancy, I had Braxton Hicks contractions for 2 weeks prior to actually going into labor. And then the day before, my actual contractions started before I actually went to the hospital to deliver. So those started a whole 12 hours before getting admitted to the hospital. And the reason that we ended up going was because my water actually broke at home. And we're like, okay, now it's time to go. My second pregnancy, I didn't experience too much Braxton Hicks contractions, even though they were coming and they were uncomfortable, but they weren't as frequent as the first time around. But on Friday, I started getting like more consistent contractions. I was like, ooh, it might be time, because these are kind of coming. I'm starting to get more uncomfortable and they're being more consistent. So went through that whole day, and the next morning we started to time the contractions and knew that it was time to go. And even after being in the hospital for a couple hours, my water still did not break. So my water was broken at the hospital by the doctor, compared to the first time where my water broke on its own at home. God bless you. God bless you. My water was broken at the hospital to kind of speed up the process, because I had already been contracting for a while. So that was that with that. And then both of my labors though, and comparing actually pushing, my first baby, I pushed her out in 10 minutes, which is super fast, especially if you're a first time mom. That's really fast. But she was ready to come out. Okay, and second baby, I pushed her out in 15 minutes, except this one felt like an hour had gone by. I was so exhausted by the time I was ready to push. Compared to my first one, I pushed out in 10 minutes and it felt like 3 minutes. So it felt a lot faster, and it was a lot faster the first time. This one was a little bit longer and it felt way longer. I was just super tired by the time it was ready to push this little girl out compared to the first one. So those are really the main differences, similarities, and being pregnant, especially it being so far apart. There's a lot of things that I remember. There was a lot of things where I felt like I was a first-time mom again. Hold on, I'm trying to get the corners, and it's not happening. But those were some of the similarities, differences in being pregnant. I thought I would know a lot because of already having a baby, but kind of going through it again, it was so out of my mind. I didn't know what to expect. There was some things that I did, some things that were new, some things that had changed over the years that the providers no longer do or recommend. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be doing another video soon on my birth story with baby girl, so stay tuned for that. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Okay, bye bye. Hey, bye bye. Oh.